back to study break number 54.
Who's scared?
Me.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it to be that long of an episode. I thought it was going to be even shorter. It was already a short episode.
I busted open 2 beans.
You did do 2 beans.
You sure did.
I personally loved, because I feel like a lot of times you give us the option of like, are you sure you want to do that? I loved that there were immediate
You
consequences.
said immediately threw that into the water, ice on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want more of that as we continue.
I liked that energy.
Okay.
I busted open 2 beans and
Personally, I like when I get a little warning.
No,
think
because
about
it's
it.
like
No.
we deserve bigger
and
consequences.
the image
now.
of Sawyer going bloop up really fast was so funny.
It's not fun if we're always like our hands are held through everything.
Are y'all mad at me that I touched the beans?
I'm not mad at you.
No.
I wish I could say that I regret it, but I'd be lying.
I'm not mad at you. Olivia was encouraging you to throw all the beans. I almost said, hey, throw that last bean down the
Do a flip.
amphitheater. I almost said, throw the last one. What?
No, are there only 3 beans?
I think there are 4. I think you're supposed to roll, but I have 4 beans. Fuck it.
With 2 beans left. I want to throw one down in the amphitheater. Also, I just want to say that, like, if everyone in the group had been kind of like, either on the first one or the second one, like, especially on the second one, if y'all had been like, maybe don't throw it, I would not have done it. Do you know what I mean? I respect the
Olivia
vibe.
was encouraging
No,
it.
I know.
But when Sawyer asked beans, that's a different story.
I'm just speaking for all that it's what my character would doers.
I think the 4th bean, you have to try to throw it in Hyperia's mouth when we see her.
Love. Okay, so we're lined up. Okay.
Perfect.
Should we go in order?
Airtight plan.
Yeah, so we got in the castle, no problem.
Easy
Yeah.
peasy.
Easy.
Too easy.
Y'all were just running through.
Oh, when we hid in the Great Hall, them basically being like, if you have to grovel
When he
to
said grovel,
Astea.
I was like,
Oh yeah, they were like he was like you beefed it hard. I knew.
He was like, go
Yeah.
grovel. Honestly,
It
if
was
we run
funny.
into them again, we need to give them a little time to like, so we can watch the groveling.
Because she
And
should
she'll
have
say
been
no.
like open the letter here and read it.
Yeah.
Like,
Dumbass.
but she
They
why the
beefed
fuck did
it.
she attack me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's your sister, so she thought that she could just make you do it. She
Yeah.
she had to like,
Yeah. Whenever you didn't do what she said, she got pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he said if things go wrong, then you need to apologize and grovel to her. But like if
Yeah.
things go right, then
So basically, if they best you in battle, it's fine. But if you
No, no,
best
no.
them, they have to grovel.
it's like if this whole thing that they're about
yeah.
to go
I think
down.
the Hyperia kind of partnership, which I'm assuming is the whole soul partnership thing,
Yeah.
is like if it goes like how they expect it, it's like all good. But if it like backfires, they need the other twin soul to now wage war against the Hyperia twin soul.
Do we
Yeah.
think Esta's soul is like they're not going to cram a 3rd soul into you, right?
I think also part of this is that, like, in general, if things go south and the good guys win or whatever,
Yeah.
at the end of it's like the Ruadons are probably going to have to grovel to me in general of like, hey girl, it's like Sume, it's like I'll still be friends with Sume.
Yeah.
The rest of you can like kick rocks. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not-
literally.
I
It's
could
also
just-
like, fuck your line.
it's like I'll just die and take Theodrix with me.
Yeah, it's
know?
like you want me to give you more kids so you can do this to them?
Yeah, it's like I don't have to. Yeah, it's like I don't have to
Yeah, like
pass along anything.
They
Yeah.
need you. They need at least one of the people on the inside to be in your ear enough that they
Yeah.
can keep controlling it. Because it's
Yeah.
like to lose the control of this would be like
Yeah.
fucking devastating.
So either they like incapacitate me and kidnap me, or we win.
Yeah, I don't think the plan is to put another soul in Astea. I think it's just like we need Astea back for the power that Astea has.
Yeah, but I
Here's
think
another thing that would be crazy is, so like, obviously any sort of like twin soul stuff, it's like the Ruadons, both branches, the red and blue, are like very like adept. They have got this ritual, like they each like, it's like a similar, I'm guessing it's a similar ritual for the red dragon, even if it's not the exact same thing. Like the family has like a similar process.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, it's got to be kind of standard across any twin soul thing.
So
Yeah.
if Timonus and Rafa
Yeah.
are like aligned, if Timonus is like, hey, Rafa, since you're my ally, here you go, the twin soul recipe for you to use on your daughter.
Yeah.
Like, that definitely is possible. I, like, have wanted it to be Moray forever, like, whatever was going on there. However, why would Timonus not, like, be like... I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, I guess. I just wonder if, like, what if he tries to, like, use that on Amra? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's Ruadon tradition to put it to the youngest sibling or, like, the next in line, but it's like... Why not have 2? You know what I mean? If you have this spell or this like ritual and you're capable of doing it, why would
Yeah.
he not choose his own daughter? So like, what if he's lying to Lord Rafa and like he's gonna try to like pull some other shit?
Yeah.
Or he just has this insanely valuable bargaining chip and he's getting a lot in return from Lord Rafa by like using the ritual or like granting the ritual to him to use on his daughter.
Yeah.
I feel like though it's the ritual thing is separate from like what the Ruadons can do, and I think whatever Governor Frey has been doing with like the Queen's Bond and shit, like it's like they've more like science-ified the soul thing.
Like a modified, well, it's also like a dragon versus a god. The ritual's going to be a little different.
yeah, it's like, but I imagine it's like more of like we've been in the lab and we've figured out how to recreate this perfectly. Whereas I think like the Ruadon thing is probably like a very like a ritual that's been passed down that's very like ceremonial and magical. Whereas I imagine what we're about to see is more like they've crafted like, I think of like his dark materials, how they have like a literal machine to split souls in that. Like it's like
It's way freakier. To
it's
me.
like science-ified. I imagine that like there's some tech because I feel like that Governor Frey was more in like the tech, like
Tech industry.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Governor Frey's in the tech industry.
techie.
You know, like arcane tech, but I still feel like that's different than like I feel like what happens with the Ruadons is more core of like
Like, there's
magic,
no
tradition,
technology.
ritual. Like we're
Yes.
going in a cave.
Yeah.
And it's blood.
Yeah,
and
it's like we're going in a cave and there's lightning and fire and,
Yes.
and like
Yeah.
we do some chants.
I love chance.
This I feel like is they're not gonna wheel out a machine, but like they're gonna like do
Oh,
something.
but they might. Nothing freaks me out more than wheeling out a machine.
That's so funny.
That's when I haven't ever read Golden Compass or the books, but I liked the Golden Compass movie when I was younger, just because I liked the idea of my soul was put into an animal that
Yeah.
got to follow me around.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You're like, that's real.
But then I really liked his Dark Materials TV show when they really got into it. And it was like all like it was very religion themed, but very
Okay.
technological. But the most heartbreaking scene is seeing them like fucking sever the souls of their like animal bond.
And then their little animal dies.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's horrible.
why would they do that?
What in the world?
Because they like, I think they believed that
It's like a religious thing.
Yeah. I think like the idea is that like the particles that create this soul bond with this animal is like sin. So they think like the animal you have is an embodiment of sin. So they're trying to move away from that and separate them away.
That's crazy.
Good.
And
Goodness.
it's one of those things that
I
like
need to get into that.
You should watch his Dark Materials. I mean, probably read the books, but like I think the show did a pretty good job.
if you die, then like your little spirit, like little guy dies, or like your little soul guy dies. But then if your soul guy dies, then like you survive. So if you split it, then I think do they stay alive or I think they die?
The
It's
little
like
animals.
It's like
Yeah.
fourth wing, but in reverse.
Yeah, it's like that's like a part of your soul that's dying. Like it's not like an animal that like you've imbued your soul. It's like that is literally like a part of you. So like part of the story is like they're trying to figure out how to do it and not like and they're testing on kids, sorry. But like cuz it's like you have to be young when you do
Yeah.
it. Obviously a very religious metaphor of getting young and putting it, in their heads to do this. But like they couldn't figure out how to like not make them lose like basically like everything of their personality. Like it was just kind of like shells of what they were. They like they could talk and like function, but it was truly like dead behind the eyes, like nothing there. So it's kind of like what the book is kind of commenting on of like that is like the joy of living and the beauty of your life is like this other half of your soul.
Yeah.
Or not the book, but the show at least.
Speaking of religion, the speech, the like theocracy speech.
Yeah.
Was that Lord Rafa that he
Yeah.
did? Was real. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really good. It was like honestly, like, okay, not convincing, but like, it was like a good speech. You know what I mean? Like, it was a convincing case for theocracy of like, oh yeah, like this does sound great in theory.
It was like building community and doing all
And
of
religion
this.
is going to unite us. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh yay. And
this
then it's
kind of like surface level, like the marketing pitch of this sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and
you
then you're
dig
like-
any deeper into it, and you're like, ooh.
so we're going to get rid of the individualism
Yeah.
and we're going to all have the same exact values.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen to the
We're
people who
splitting the
don't.
planes, and
Yeah. But I also thought it was so interesting that I know we're going out of order, but a bunch of people
When
were
do we
like,
not?
whoa, you're crazy. Like, but like in the streets, we saw either people getting like dragged off for speaking out against Hyperia or like all the prophets or whatever you want to call them, like saying like the time is nigh with like crowds around them. But then we got into here and a bunch of people were like, whoa, this is insane. So it's like, but is it just like a representation of like, that's what the common folk
I mean, he
actually
was
think?
saying that like how spread it has been now.
Yeah.
And like they've ordained all these priests and how like this is what it is. Now he's like effectively gotten a lot of the public to believe this in a frenzy But there are still people in positions of power that are like, no, don't do that. But clearly, like, they're kind of not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
I also think that like this room of people is like the people who would have the privilege still to speak up and like fight back against this idea. Whereas like in the streets, like you don't have that same, you know, it's like there's no power
You
there.
don't have social power.
It's like they're going to succumb a lot quicker than the people who like are making the decisions for the world.
Yeah.
But like it is true of like they're realizing that like if you control the common folk, your idea will win. You know, it's like you will be the winner at the end of the day because like you have the
that's where the numbers
now.
are. Yeah.
But like on the other hand, it's like these are the only people who could still speak up about it because they're the only ones left in power that like he has to convince. He doesn't have to convince the common folk necessarily. Like it sounds like they're more forcing them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also really like that it adds stakes for like the whole Golden Order crowd of like, it's not just like, and all the people are on our side. It's like they have some convincing to do and they have like a lot of things to succeed or fail at.
Which makes me have a lot more hope for us because it's like there's still time to like plant enough seeds that like
I think we
could
need
turn
to sneak
people
into Small Tower and talk to Moray.
Yeah, if she's in there. I mean,
I'm so convinced that Moray is in Small
she
Tower.
might be, but
But then who's behind the other door? I thought it was Curd and he was going to be zombie Curd.
well, I think
behind the
I
door.
think it was.
Oh, it must have been.
Oh,
yeah.
no, he's out. Yeah.
That was kind of the insinuation.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
Curd
assumed,
was in the closet.
I kind of had a theory that it was
Okay.
probably zombie Curd
Yeah,
back
exactly.
there.
Okay.
Which is why I wasn't pushing you to open the door too much. Now, would it have been like
Well,
funny and fun?
I thought it couldn't have been Curd because Jared said something about like your dad told you never to open this door, which would have been before.
Maybe
like,
it's just his creepy experiment room.
I
Yeah.
imagine that Curd is not
That's
the
where he
first
keeps his
person this has
machine.
happened
Yeah.
to.
Oh,
sense.
it's so freaky.
It's like there might be multiple of these things down there, and it was just like
yeah.
Curd was the most recent one.
Whenever we were running out, I did really want to stop by Small Tower. Whenever I said I'll abstain my vote because I'm the one who beamed us. But I really wanted to go to Small Tower. But also like,
Yeah.
otherwise we wouldn't have gotten to like.
We
hear
wouldn't
the
really know what it
speech.
was. Like even whatever we found, I don't think we would have had like context because we wouldn't have the like because he said like, oh, join us in the Golden Garden because
Yeah, we would have like I was
we were
worried,
talking about it, but we didn't know what it meant.
I was worried if we went to the tower that we would miss the speech, which like granted Jared could control that, but I think it would have been smart of like actually making us decide and being like, fine, if they go to the tower, like they're gonna miss the
I thought that
speech.
you were going to do that. Like, I don't know. I got a threatening aura from Jared.
So it
this
was like
episode.
to me, I was like, I would rather know exactly what they said on that stage and like what the like political structure was.
I agree. Yeah.
Because I think it's like if we can find time to go back to the tower and like that's what we're doing and get in there, awesome. But like the opposite would have been, it sounds like we went to the small tower and then the tree ant would have gotten out, Curd would have been there, and we wouldn't be, and then like we would have missed everything in there, and it looks like the canine weren't in there, so we would have totally not had any of that.
the treant being chaotic good could have been fucking huge.
Would
Like
have been huge.
we could have had him sneak into the garden and pretend to be part of it and then like be on our side. Like if that treant, this is probably the worst like not one of my life.
We had some of the like worst, like consistently like bad rolls, and like.
So
But here's the
frustrating.
thing: we've had so many episodes recently where I feel like consistently we've had really great rolls. So like, I think it was nice in a dire time, an episode that you thought would be fairly like a lot of, I'm
Yeah.
assuming, information, but not a lot of like action or like consequences for us. It was nice that the dice were like, no, fuck you guys, you need some consequence, and like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. And I think it was funny that
I really thought about lying and saying it was a 20 because I know I could have gotten away with it. Like I know I could have got, that sounds bad to say, but I know I could have gotten away with lying to y'all. But that's why I didn't, because like when it comes to lying, I know my own power and I choose not to abuse it.
you're not dishonorable. And I think that would have been a dishonorable choice.
I
Yeah.
agree. But it's also like I know that it's like the dice tell the story and that's great. And it's hilarious that it's chaotic evil because now it is like ripping up the tower and it's causing a crazy, insane distraction. But I am like, it would have been so fun to have
Yeah.
like an ally who was a treant and he like could fight the boule and then like be a plant literally in the garden. Like it could have been so, I mean, just because a character's chaotic evil doesn't mean you can't like
I
reason
have
with
angel
them,
dust.
right?
I mean, I would say
You do?
chaotic evil, they want to like kill you.
They want to kill you.
Like
just 'cause they're
chaotic?
evil.
Didn't we decide I have 2 doses of angel dust?
I think so, yeah.
But it's like, just because it doesn't mean that they just want to kill mindlessly a chaotic evil character. Like, what if we tell them, like, hey, this would be more fun? Or, like, this would be, you get to kill more people this way.
Well, chaotic evil is like chaotic sometimes is a great alignment to have because they're not following any order, right? Like a lawful evil is like once they've decided who's the enemy and who's the good guy, you're not changing it. But chaotic means like they can switch at any moment.
It's like, can we get this tree on our side?
I don't know if we could ever get it on our side because it wouldn't be reliable.
Yeah, and also like
chaotic.
you are the thing that like birthed it into this world, and like it saw you and was like, what the
But
fuck?
wouldn't that mean it liked us?
Well, maybe it's not living a pleasant existence, you know?
Yeah.
We birthed it. I don't know. I would be like, oh my God, you birthed me into this world.
I think it's doing the best it could, which is like it will go after anyone that comes across it, which is like as long as we stay out of its way, that is to our benefit in this scenario.
Or let me take my pitch down a notch. We don't have to get it on our side permanently because a chaotic alignment doesn't really make sense for that. But individual things, maybe we could persuade it to do like one individual like idea, like throw an idea at it and then maybe it does it. Like if like
I think it could be persuaded
if
into
Governor
like,
Frey walks into his range and we're like smush that guy, just like maybe he would do it.
I think we could persuade it to like decision by decision possibly, but it's like we can't rely on like we could. And also it's like I don't think Governor Frey is gonna just show up.
Anyway, I really wanted a nat 20 on that and I didn't get one, and that's fine.
It's okay.
The end.
It was a coin flip. It wasn't not 1 or not 20. It was just one or the other, you know?
Yeah, I guess so.
At the point that we grabbed something though, I was like, should we just put the helm on? I don't know.
I was almost like, oh, let me grab the rest of them and see what happens. But
If you would have grabbed the rest of them, you would have been thrown back into the water.
But then we could have just done the rope again.
That's true.
We could have collected them all.
If she had tied the rope, thrown it up, and collected the rest of them, put them in a bag, and then we climb our way down.
Yeah, that would
We
have
have
worked.
gamed it, but I really think that they were all cursed objects.
Well, the helm would have been cursed,
The helm
and
was
it
cursed.
and it would have required attunement. Like a helm is not just like you put it on and your brain is okay.
yeah. Did we find out what the cloak was?
No.
It was going to be a cloak of billowing and then something else I was going to throw onto it.
Whatever.
I think that we made the right decision, and by we I mean I, to get the beans. I think out of everything on that table, if we could go back, I would still choose the beans.
Hey, get in the comments about how you felt about the bean portion of this episode. Were you screaming in anger or in glee?
We want to know.
That's a good question.
I had my head in my hands for a lot of that segment.
That was one of the most stressful combat sessions we've ever had. And we've had some really tough ones,
And you know, we were laughing a lot, but at one point I looked over and Campbell had dissociated. And I said, uh-oh.
But we made it out.
And I knew we would. It just depended, like, were we going to walk out that door and, like, they grab us and now we're just, like...
I know. I was just worried that Timonus was just going to burst into the room and be like...
Well, then we would have had to kill him.
I love that
Astea, you're here!
Honestly,
Like, no.
it would have been fucking fun. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, if they came and got you and you had to have an interaction with
Imagine Time just walks in and the boule just like out of the water. Like he disables the gravity field and then like boom,
and then
like this thing comes down from the ceiling.
And then he sees all these little freaks that you're hanging out with. And he's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I love that that's where y'all's heads were at. Like the like really high stakes of it. The whole time I was just thinking like Margie is like gonna get the ick. Like whenever we were splashing it around in the water and she had to like get the eels off me. I was like, this is so embarrassing. She's getting the ick right now. But later when I asked her if she was okay.
I love that he had eels. It's like how
Electric eels.
How more fucking on brand can the Ruadons get? Like nothing in the Ruadons like lives or anything they own, like and everything has to be so perfectly on brand. Like he has to have electric eels, of course. Everything has to be blue.
My A+ is when you name them Zip Zap Zop.
That was awesome.
For those
for the uneducated out there, Zip Zap Zop is a theater game that I feel like does anybody really love Zip Zap Zop?
No,
people do. People do.
Oh.
100%.
And listen, I'm not a Zip Zap Zop hater by any means.
It's a default game.
I do enjoy
It's a game that's like, we can play Zip Zap Zop. It takes 3 seconds to learn.
Like, you know, it's a little competitive.
But then it never does. Everyone has their own rules for it. And they're like, well, this is Zip and this is Zap. And everyone's like, that's not how I play it.
Yeah.
And then if you're in a big circle, half the circle doesn't want to play. So they're zoning out. So if you like zip it to them, they're like, huh? And then it's like, boo.
And then
like
and then there's half of the people who are like, wait, what's the rules? And you're like, oh.
And
then there's the people who are like, oh, in my company we do like SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And then they want to do SpongeBob and you're like, okay, the rest of us like don't know SpongeBob.
And then there's one person who will never get the rules.
This probably sounds like fucking gibberish if you don't know what we're talking about. Anyway, it's a
Are you going to explain the rules?
I'm just going to say it's like there's different hand motions to pass around like an energy around the circle.
Theater
and it's
kids
just like
know. Theater kids
you
know.
just have to keep it going and pick like a certain like way to. It's just you keep energy going is the purpose of this, but people make it really complicated.
I love that Zop was,
and there's a lot of strong
Zop.
feelings.
May Zop's memory be a blessing.
Oh my God.
It's funny that that Zop is the first one to die. I would think that Zip would be
Zop. Well, they go in reverse. They were born and then they died.
they
were
went
born Zip Zop Zop and then they die in reverse order.
Zop Zap Zip.
Yeah.
I also love that we got to see the drafts of the letters.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
I love the one that was like, "Get your ass back here right now." I know it's not exactly what it said, but that's what he was saying.
Yeah,
he said,
because I was trying to compare the two, and like the longer one that he didn't send me was definitely like he was like, no, this is too harsh. I've got to add like a little more like I love you.
He got like extra manipulative,
but it's
for
like
the last
it's
one.
like the short one was truly like, "Get your ass back to Stormbreak now."
A short letter, a 2-sentence long letter is crazy.
But can you imagine if you were handed a letter in that moment where they're like, "Here's the letter," and you read it and it was like, "Get back here right now. Daddy's orders." Like, it's like
Storm's got you.
You would have blown
Storm's
a gasket.
no way. Yeah, no, the letter that he ended up with was good. Like in terms of like manipulation, it's just like, okay, we're not falling for anything. But like if we were gonna fall for something, that would work.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing he left out about like don't trust the beast, he's a liar and deceiver, is really funny because that's what Melina said as well. Like,
yeah, they're all saying that.
I know he's not great, but
is it beast or monster?
He referred to him, I think, as both like beast. Don't let the beast or the monster.
I cannot stop thinking about Small Tower. I think Mora's in there. I think
Monster.
They're gonna do the souls.
Okay, I think monster is Theodrix, but I think if he had used the word beast, he might have been referring to Beans.
That would be badass.
Oh,
because Beans is like Path of the Beast. Like, I'm assuming he knows.
He knows a little bit about the hell.
I'm assuming that like he's worked with my father a little bit, right? Because of that scenario, and it's like I would assume that they would probably liken us closer to beasts than respectable creatures.
I think Moray is going to be a vessel for Hyperia's body, and she's going to be holding court in the garden, and people are going to be like pledging their fealty and like kneeling and like doing all. But
here's the thing:
stuff.
I think Moray's going to like. I think if we find Moray in there, she's going to be like, "This is what I fucking want." Like, I think she's going to be like,
"No, it is," but like at least we can like. If we can get her alone, like if we can sneak into Small Tower and like talk just her, like before she's in front of a big audience, we can at least like hear her perspective on things and maybe a little bit of like how things are working. You know what I mean? I don't expect her to be like, "You're right, and I'm not gonna take on the soul that I've worked my whole." It's like she really wants this.
Or it's like
she could at least like give us some information that could be valuable to us, even if she doesn't think it is.
But it's like I'm scared we're gonna go in there and then like. But I'm scared we're going to go in there and we're going to talk to her and we're going to be like, "Don't do it." And then like at the last minute, she's going to be like, "But it's already done." Boom.
Yeah.
Hyperia.
Blast us.
That's so good. Well, what if we go the opposite? What if we just go like, "Yes, girl, like we support you. Like tell us everything."
I think it depends like what she hits us with. Cause it's also like Moray doesn't know us. You know what I mean? We know a lot about her, but she doesn't know us. So like we could use it to our advantage if we like want to.
Or we walk into Small Tower and like Sabina's in there. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like we don't fucking know.
But it's like also I think like I don't know. I think Beans' impulse would be to like bring up Sabina and see what the reaction is.
Let's do it. Why stop? We're on a chaotic streak. Why stop now? I like taking
We have to help the world eventually.
No, we will save the world, but it's like we're taking big swings and why stop now? Yeah. Otherwise, why are you playing Dungeons and Dragons?
Hey, I agree. Okay. And Campbell agrees too. Just give us a little bit.
Campbell agrees in her heart.
Campbell's just scared of Astea dying.
No, I was excited about the first bean. And then the second bean was a little stressful.
That's like the Thai food story that Connor told.
A third one,
real life Connor, not fictional Connor.
A third one could have been hilarious, or like we all were actually mad at you.
But the
you know what I
third bean
mean?
will happen.
Yeah,
the third bean will happen.
We really saved like a Chekhov's third bean. You know what I mean?
Chekhov's bean. Chekhov's bean. It was a bit of a Chekhov's bean. Oh, the symbol on Lord Rafa's
little like booklet
is Sabina's tattoo, and we just found out that her name is Solace, which is spelled with an S at the end or a CE at the end.
In my mind,
SOLAS or SOLACE.
We're gonna say SOLIS.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Solace.
Okay, cool.
Not solace, right?
Because like the word solace as in like comfort or sanctuary, like does also come from the word for sun. So like we're cooking no matter what. But I kind of wanted to know what flavor we were cooking with. SOLIS.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, but it's like we've never figured out who Sabina's parents are.
Yeah.
No, but like,
Do we know Sabina's last name?
no, that's what I'm saying.
duh.
It is solace.
Oh my god. My brain fart.
It's just like it just aligns her with the sun. The Golden Order is already aligned with the sun. But like honestly, like Morrigan seeing that tattoo, like that random nat 20, is like so clutch. Like we would
Pretty
not,
crazy.
we would not know that she had that. And then the fact that Jared didn't like come up with some bullshit, like he actually like said something important, like it's like crazy that we know that right now.
Yeah, from so long ago.
I know we can't actually do anything with like it's not some big like and now we cracked it, but like it's good to know.
It is like it's still like a piece of information that we solidly know of, like there is a connection between Sabina and most likely Sabina's parents and Lord Rafa.
Yeah.
So it's like, and also I'm curious.
And he's either Moray's uncle or father or like is that the age he is? Like we're not looking
He's
at
like he's also like an elf. So
So it could be grandfather because it's an elf, right?
I mean, it could be father because he's an elf.
I feel like it's father.
yeah.
I feel like father would be juicier. Like why make uncle? You know what I mean?
So Rafa is an elf, but Moray is a
She's like elf with like wings. She's like elven, but like also has wings.
She's an Asamar.
It's a kind of like wild thing. Yeah, like I've kind of been saying Asamar.
But like he could have married an Asamar, Lord Rafa.
Yeah.
Like if you're an elf and an Asamar, your child is going to be like
Both.
still
an elf Samar.
Yeah, still of like,
Elf Samar.
Yeah. I mean, or she has the wings. There's lots of ways to get wings.
Yeah.
It's D&D. Like there's a wild magic thing that makes you sprout
Yeah.
wings.
Yeah.
I mean, she has them permanently, but
I'm also curious who the goblin and the orc
Oh yeah.
were that were there with tiny
Well,
thin glasses and trench coats.
were they on
the
the Zoom-
Matrix?
were they on the Zoom meeting?
Is Keanu Reeves here?
No. I was thinking more like
trench
thin,
coats
like
was
rectangular.
So the Matrix. Oh no, I guess those are
the trench
those are
coats,
small.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
those-
with the trench coats?
I don't know. I thought
They both had- were
I
they
thought they
matching?
looked. I thought they looked kind of. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were.
they were
I thought they
matching.
looked kind of lame, but like.
I
funny.
immediately pictured like the Men in Black. I
Yeah,
was like,
just
huh?
like hanging out.
Were they the people from Lord Arathis' Zoom meeting? Like, weren't there other people on the
I don't
call?
know.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
But
Lord
they were
Booger.
sitting
We didn't
next
see
to.
the Zoom call.
Have we ever seen Lord Booger?
No,
One of those was Lord Booger.
I think it's the goblin.
Why? Why are you
y'all might have seen Lord
profiling
Booger at the party.
No,
at
we
the
did.
Party.
Yeah, I thought we did see.
I
Booger.
might
I thought
have
he was just
forgot.
a guy.
I might have forgot. No. That was
That was
the
the
headmaster.
brimstone.
Yeah, that was the headmaster of
Principal
Brimstone.
Gimbo.
Yeah, that was Principal Gimbo.
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 And what did we say? We made up a rumor that like somebody couldn't sit down. Who was
Yeah, that was Lord Booger. Couldn't sit down.
But we saw them sitting down.
No,
So
the goblin.
rumors are
The
false.
goblin wasn't sitting down. The goblin was
standing?
standing up.
Holy shit! So
Holy
that's,
shit! So that's Lord Booger. I was right.
Well, who was the guy in the owl mask?
Oh, that
Was that Lord
was so cool.
Yeah, my God! I literally was like, I have to go. I think I have to go. I have to leave
But what was the mask about?
to look even hotter.
His
Well, not
face.
really.
His face is fucked up. His face got fucked up.
Yeah, don't you remember that
It's
whole thing?
beautiful to me. I like don't take that mask. Don't wear that mask, baby girl. Like take that off from me. Do you know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. But like also, I get it. I would wear like a cool mask too.
Now a cool
Yeah.
owl mask. I'm more on board.
Wait till Professor
it's like-
Sprout hears about this. She doesn't like Lord Arathis. I would be like, ugh.
It's like, is
Like that's my
owl,
culture.
Yeah.
like the symbol of his house? Is owl like because he was aligned with Lunastera at some point? Like
He's got some weird shit going on with Lunastera. But also like, are owls and moons like in this universe like associated?
they gotta be there. I mean,
They gotta
are they just gonna be like not
They gotta
nocturnal
be 'cause-
creatures because it's a fantasy world?
They gotta be, because what other connection would we have?
No, a nocturnal creature mask is crazy for the Hyperia Summit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And Lord Arathis is the one who imprisoned Lunastera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You think they got a weird thing going on?
But it's a nocturnal bird of prey. I think it works. I hope they do. But no, she's a lesbian.
She is.
She could be bisexual.
But she's not.
Could be.
Olivia, just be real.
What do you mean?
Just
No,
get real.
you can't say that.
No way. The moon goddess? Yeah, the moon goddess. is
Erasure, bisexuality erasure right
She's not
here.
attracted to a man. And if she was, it wouldn't be Lord
You don't
Arathis.
know that. You're saying that because that's what you want.
He imprisoned her and not in a sexy way.
But we know that he was a trusted advisor to her.
Yeah.
before he did that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm thinking,
She only loves other women who are other gods.
I want you to know, put this under the section of Lily's theory that is based in nothing other than what Lily
Basic
wants.
fact, if
Then
I'm ever
Lily
wrong,
canon.
if I'm ever wrong, like it'll be because like Olivia like paid Jared off or something. No, there is no way that I'm wrong about this.
Conspiracy.
I don't need to pay Jared off.
Oh, never mind.
Cancel.
Never mind.
I can't
If I
say if I speak. No, whenever you said he
Campbell,
had like
how do you feel? Do you think Lunastera could be bisexual and not fully a lesbian?
oh, so Campbell's the lesbian.
Oh, so I'm a lesbian, so I have to answer the question.
No. You're the other person.
Gotcha.
No. No, you're the other person at the table that could weigh in on this.
Conveniently, I'm a lesbian.
What is that?
Another one.
Okay, so I can't talk to you because you're a lesbian. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think Lunastera is a lesbian.
But
canon.
No, it's not canon. Nobody jot that down as canon. It might be, but we don't know.
When you said a shock of white hair, I almost creamed in my jeans. I was like,
Lily, you have to stop. Lily, you have to stop.
You're digging a hole you can't climb out of.
Your hole was already so deep, and you keep digging it.
I don't know. Sometimes
We got to put this behind a paywall or something.
Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, okay, am I going to regret really putting all this stuff onto the internet?
It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep, though, is the
But
thing.
imagine if somebody next, honestly, like my employers like were like, oh yeah, you kind of just like cool with like putting whatever you want onto the internet during the interview. And I was like, yeah.
On it, but it's like, here's the thing.
But I think they meant it in a good way. I think
But
they admired
yeah,
it.
it's like, I've seen stuff on the internet. This is not crazy
No, but I'm saying,
in the
what if
slightest.
somebody like in my life or so, like a new acquaintance, I like mentioned Gals and Goblins. This is like in the like 2 weeks after this episode comes out. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to check it out. And then they go click on the most recent study break. And then this is the first thing they hear.
And then they listen
get
to
30
15
minutes in.
Yeah, they're gonna get 30 minutes in. That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
I guess
okay.
you're right.
You're
That's because
protected.
that's because you're paranoid.
Okay, well,
Also, if they do hear this and they go, fuck her, then it's like, I don't think we want to hang out with them.
Yeah. And you don't want to be their friend.
okay, so
Fuck her.
If you
Lily,
think
oh my God.
if you think I'm a freak for how much I love Lord Arathis, then sorry.
I think you are, but I'm allowed to because I sit across the table.
I think you are, but not in a way that changes my friendship with you.
Exactly.
I really am dwelling on the owl mask from a lore standpoint, not from a it's
Sure,
sexy and hot.
whatever.
Both. We could be both. I could separate,
I'm glad you were
I could
honest
separate
with
the
yourself.
two in my mind. But yeah, like that's crazy. But I wonder if it is some sort of symbol of his house or some sort of deeper meaning. What's the crest of House Lecran?
We can get it.
Cranberries.
No,
just
literally. Do you remember the like ages
a
and
can of
ages ago
LaCroix?
when he was at Esta's house? Do you remember somebody was like, Lily, what like outfits do you picture Lord Arathis? Like what outfit do you picture him wearing? And I was like, oh, well, like great news. I have 5 canon Lord Arathis outfits that exist in my head.
Yeah.
And the one from Esta's flashback in when he was younger was a cranberry red and like orange, like a warm like orange like sort of like set of robes. And like that was because subconsciously in that scene, Jared mentioned that his name was Lecran, but like then I immediately forgot that his name was Lecran and only the outfit stuck. So whenever I said that in the Discord of like, oh, like in these cranberry red robes, and then later, like weeks later, we were like, what is Lord Arathis' last name? And Jared was like, Lecran. I was like, holy shit, my brain, like it's all coming together.
All clicking.
Your brain does remember, just in a way that you have to decode.
It's in files.
Literally.
I will say, I think I said that his like house symbol, I think was like a raven.
You did.
I'm pretty sure I
His
did.
perfume was also Ode to Raven.
Oh, the raven.
Aren't ravens and owls enemies? Is that crazy?
Enemies.
I'm loving
She
that.
was talking about the Guardian books.
Loving this folklore.
Guardians of Gahul, I love those. Guardians of Gahul. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about?
Olivia's just making up folklore.
Talking about the Guardians of Gabagool.
Because isn't
Shakespearean?
No. Because in the Discord, this is based in the Discord. Isn't Bandrew's like image
my
an
God,
owl?
yeah. Bandrew and Crow are
owls.
enemies.
Because
Holy
I
shit,
know a raven and a crow are not the same, but they're similar, right? That's not crazy.
Yeah.
That I said that.
They're
Our
both
raven.
corvids.
Listen, I typed into Google and our ravens and owls enemies is number 1. So
What?
Yes, ravens and owls are often enemies in nature. Fuck you, and fuck you.
Does that mean symbolically that he's gonna betray his house? Or do you think Jared was just like, fuck, what's a cool animal?
One of the biggest rivalries in nature is between corvids and owls.
So that's
what?
So Crow and Bandrew, that's why they're crow
So
and
that's
an owl.
why Bandrew is an owl?
So
Yes.
the lore has been this deep for this
Enemies
long.
ordained. Listen, from capeislands.org. Enemies
Since the dawn of time.
Enemies ordained
Since the
by
dawn of the
nature.
.org.
Crows versus owls.
That's crazy.
I know a raven is a little different, but they're still a corvid.
My favorite opening line of like any possible thing is I like fucking love when things open with the line "since the dawn of time." I like think that it
Since
lives
the
in
dawn
like
of
the world of camp. I think something immediately becomes camp when it opens with "since the dawn of time." I love it.
I also want to give. It's insane because like I have created the character, but the Lilly description of like the dark hair with like the shock of white hair is like canon now.
Yes, I
But
get it.
I will tell you right now, I have an image of Arathis that might be sacrilegious. And it is ever since we've said like the Princess Diana fit, in my mind, I need
he have a haircut or something?
I need y'all to trust me on this. I need y'all to really trust me on this.
I just go
And
before you say this. I want you to know that I have two separate images. One is the hot fanfiction Lord Arathis, like the YN self-insert Lord Arathis, and the other one is like what I think Gals and Goblins canon if we got an animated series, like how Jared pictures him, Lord Arathis.
Here's the
And
thing.
they're a little separate. They're a little different.
Yeah.
This is just because, again, I think somebody in the Discord said it. They're like, I think we have established that the characters of Eldravel are like ever changing, morphing people.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes, they are.
It's a new art style every episode.
Yes. And I apologize to a degree for that. However, and also that's also just kind of how my mind works.
Don't apologize.
For right now, it's an apology, but not a like, oh, I'm so sorry, don't hate me. It's a like this is inconvenient for people who want to have a consistent,
I guess
and it's also inconvenient for me. Anyway, I have a vision of Lord Arathis in my head. Owl mask,
Yes.
black, angular features, no beak, just the eyes.
Yes.
Kind of like maybe feathers. You can tell it's an owl. Black cloak. This is where it gets crazy. It's the hair. It's the hair.
It's Princess Diana's haircut.
Curly, short, blonde,
What?
like hair.
What?
Really? What?
Didn't you say that he had long black hair in the first place?
I did. But this is just
Like,
for
wait,
me
he got
right now. This is just for
Eldravel
me right
bleach
now.
and tone. Astea bleach and tone.
Stay a bleach tone and perm.
Astea bleach tone.
I am
Still
just
do
thinking
perms in
a little bit
Astea.
of like, I was reading the like Red Rising series, and like the like perfect boy in that is like Cassius, who is like curly blonde hair.
The perfect boy.
And in that mind,
Perfect little boy.
well, he's like the like,
Does he have pale skin as well?
Well,
I'm pretty sure he's
but
like,
now Jared's reading Fourth Wing, so maybe he'll turn into Zayden.
oh my
if we
god,
hope
are
hard
you?
enough.
No,
I am reading for, I'm like halfway through that thing.
well, it's a quick read.
It is a quick read. No, I am just like imagining blonde, curly hair that's like a little bit higher than like shoulder length, not exactly touching the shoulders.
How tight are the curls?
Like pretty tight.
I want you to know that I genuinely, I'm not
Like
just saying
I
this,
would say like a little bit curlier than like if you take Olivia's hair right now,
yeah,
make it like maybe a little bit curlier,
rounder.
and then put it an owl mask, like that vibe.
Okay, so I think we're each attracted to Lord Arathis in our own way.
So kind of like golden doodle hair.
not-
Golden
different. We're
doodle
not
hair,
so
maybe a
different,
little
you and
less
I.
doodle.
There's a man who has a golden doodle in the complex that his hair looks just like it's golden doodle, and that's what I'm imagining.
I
it
love
is.
when people look like their pets.
It's
I
like
love
he
it.
has like the same curl pattern as his golden doodle. And
That
I'm like,
rocks.
what the hell, dude?
Okay, so back to this. I'm not just saying this. I like love that. I like genuinely love
Good.
that. However, if that was my image of Lord Arathis, then I do think that the black poison, like spreading up and discoloring his eye, would have like a dark, like a purple, like
Yeah,
black.
it would be like a purpley black.
In, do you know what I mean? Just to contrast with the hair more.
So I learned a lot about the crow owl breakdown. If
what you've
anybody's
been doing?
interested,
Rivalry?
so crows are known to like specifically mob and attack owls during the day while they're roosting to like piss them off and not let them sleep, and then have even been known to like mercilessly like kill them from mobbing them. But it's because owls, like they're not typically predators of crows, but sometimes like if it's convenient, they have been known to like attack them and eat their brains. Well, the great horned owls do that.
So then what do the owls do at night? Do they get the crows at night? Because like they're night hunters.
Yeah, like I think they can get them at night.
Imagine hunting a crow at night. Impossible.
Basically, it's saying that crows have the ability to share knowledge between the flock. So if something happens to one, or like a corvid, right? Ravens fall into this. If something happens to one, like corvid, they somehow are able to share the knowledge. And so it kind of, knowledge also like passes, right? So it's like, even if that bird dies, they still have this knowledge that they would pass on. So it's saying, and like owls also have a very good knowledge of like what has like bothered them and hurt them in the past. So basically it's this relationship of like the crows have learned that the owls are less likely to attack them if they mob them, but the owls don't forget that the crows are always mobbing them. So it's like a never ending fucking cycle of like I know the crows will mob me, so I'll kill them if I get a chance. And the crows are like, I know the owls will kill me, so I'll mob them when I get a chance, so they won't. Isn't that crazy?
That's fascinating.
That is crazy.
And they all hated me when I said the owls and ravens were enemies.
It is giving like two families like alike in dignity.
I'm sorry we ever doubted you. Because
I'm sorry. I was just enjoying you geeking out.
Hey, Crow and Bandrew, get them in the Discord. Tear these
I was
three
just
apart.
enjoying you geeking out.
We get mobbed by a murder of crows.
I love owls. Corvids I do think are very cool, and I read a book that made me way more interested in corvids. And
Hollow Kingdom?
Yeah. And Campbell loves corvids too, so I've like learned more about them. But
my favorite animals are grackles.
Yeah. But I love owls. I used to be so obsessed with all the owls. If I could be in the Guardians of Gahul universe and be an owl, I would.
You'd be a barn owl.
I'd fucking trade that.
Oh my gosh. And I'd be a corvid.
Mortal enemies.
We should do like
Enemies
a bird.
to
We should do like a Guardians of Gahul bird
friends.
one shot.
Yeah, we
Idea.
should.
Write it down.
Write that down.
No, I'll never forget.
Guardians of Gabagool.
Nope. And I'm gonna be a barn owl. Common but beautiful.
Olivia, you didn't see it. You didn't see it. Olivia said that and then made like a full body gesture, closed her eyes, looked like she was maybe praying or like mourning the fact that she would never be a barn owl.
She like closed her eyes and like leaned back from the mic, but like
She had a moment.
it was so funny.
She had a moment all to herself.
One
wish
day
I
I'll
could've
be
seen
common but beautiful.
Oh.
Well,
I actually don't think they're common anymore. I think they've gone extinct because they were barn owls, so they got like shot from barns.
There's no more barns. Why would they get shot from barns? They take care of mice.
But they can also attack your cats and like any small livestock, or like they can turn into a problem.
A big owl.
I'm sick of it. I'm quitting the show.
No, please.
a little known fact: a small owl can turn into a big owl.
Did anybody else read Guardians of Gahul?
I did.
No,
How did you feel about it?
I remember loving it at the time.
I thought you couldn't read.
They literally.
More lies that have been created at this table.
I would never say that about you.
You couldn't.
They have like
I can't read and I've never read a book in my life.
They become like owl warriors, and some are flyers, and they have
it
little
was
armor.
epic.
It's so fucking.
And then the movie was really good too.
I've seen like
I don't remember the movie very well, but obviously, like it was just the book. It was the first book in movie form.
Yeah.
Maybe I should read those again.
I do want us to do a Pixie Hollow like marathon. And then I also want to do a Pixie Hollow.
I think I've only seen like maybe one Pixie Hollow movie. Like I
read
know
all
enough
of those books.
Oh,
They were
really?
so good.
yeah, like I know enough of like I know the types of fairies. And,
I
like,
kind of want to do Pixie Hollow instead of Regency.
then do it. You get to
know.
decide.
I am like overall in my life, I'm very into Regency, but just like this month, I like haven't been as into like writing a Regency one shot. So I was thinking about doing something different.
We're talking about our next.
The Pixie Hollow books are intense. Did you read? I assume you read the books.
Yeah, I
too.
read some of them, and then I've seen some of the movies. I wanted us to like really. I can also do this on my own. I just like want to like solidly consume all of it. Do you know what I mean? Because I've only seen like we had this movie on DVD, and my friend's house had this one. Do you know what I mean? I've never like watched them all.
Yeah, sit down and cram them all.
And if you're like, what the hell are you guys talking about? What do you mean playing next? Hey, get in that Patreon and hop on those goblin modes.
Yeah, the Goblin modes are really good so far.
We're exploring a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah, some of our best content.
We got
is
My
in-
Little Pony. We got Twilight.
Oh, this month we
got
have
Ratatouille.
Vampire. We have the Vampire Bachelor, Vampire Romance for February.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Totally one of our best yet.
Yeah. Zombies, cowboys, fops.
And we're doing warrior cats soon, right?
warrior cats.
Which is like a similar vibe to the Guardians of the
Outer Wilds. Also,
yeah, Outer Wilds.
Oh my goodness, I saw a JFIC edit with the Outer Wilds music. Sobbed crying.
Wild.
Anything without like anytime I even like think about Outer Wilds, no music accompaniment, I will start crying. With music, double the chance. JVIC edit with the Outer Wilds music. I was like on my couch. It was not good. It was not a proud moment for me.
My goodness.
Anyway,
Did we talk about everything in the episode?
I think we did.
Oh, something. I want to redesign the Ruadon like sigil.
okay, make it canon. Right
Well,
now.
because the one that I described in the episode, I feel like has got to just be like Ruadon logo. It's like not. It's not like our official like what's on the battle flag. You know.
Oh, I was imagining tower here. Okay, nobody can see what I'm doing. Tower going up, waves crashing against the tower, lightning in the sky.
But it's also the tower we just went to today is not Stormbreak.
No, I know. I'm picturing the Stormbreak Tower the way I picture it, and then like waves, and then like lightning.
Yeah, but I feel like if you've got a sigil for your house, it's not like
if you think Game of Thrones, it's like
you think Game of
it's
Thrones.
like
What is it?
the dragon, the lion, the stag.
Imagine one that's like Stark Wolf style, but it's a dragon head, but then lightning in the eyeball.
That's good. I think that's good. But also like kind of like our world, like medieval vibe, like shield. And it's like lightning on like a blue field.
When you say lightning, is it like Harry Potter scar, like do 1, 2, 3, or is it like like really like spreading and
I hate that you said Harry Potter style, but like it is.
But that's like
it's like
okay, Gatorade logo style.
It's like a
I would say cartoony style also might work.
just like
Gatorade.
No, continue, Kim.
But do you get the question I was asking? Is it forked branching lightning, like with a lot of forks?
no, it's like graphics
Zigzag.
on
It's
like a blue field.
It's lightning PNG.
Okay, so in one corner lightning PNG.
That's not what it is.
I'll cut out the name that I said.
And then in the other corner, it's like the face of a dragon.
I think you should just
Oh,
bleep
but what
out.
about the other two ones?
It's
It's just
checkerboard.
colors.
Oh, it's like pale blue, solid blue.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think you
Hell
should
yeah.
bleep out the name you said.
Yeah, I'll bleep it.
Scar style.
They're gonna know.
That's why it's funnier.
They're gonna know.
That's why it's funnier. They're gonna know.
In my mind, it is like, because here's the thing, we can all imagine it differently.
Don't listen to me.
Don't listen to me.
No, we are listening.
I also think like you're kind of breaking away from your family. You could also like design your own. You know what I mean? Like you could make Esta's Ruadon
Yeah.
sigil.
That would be sick.
Not that you have to, but like
Not
I
that you
think-
need it because you
If
literally
you-
have a blue dragon.
That would be so funny if in canon you were like, I've always hated this or something like that.
You're like, I always hated those fucking PNGs.
Yeah.
I hated that PNG you selected. Sorry, what did you imagine, Jared?
Something with like the dragon head, like looking down. It's kind of like what is it over
yeah.
here? Like there's like a dragon head like going down, like a down view on a dragon head. Mm-hmm. I feel like the Astea sigil, the Astea Ruadon sigil could be like a person or like underneath.
This dragon head, none of you can see this. That's on our DM screen, which is like very straight on, but kind of from the top with like, it has a bunch of fin spikes. It would be cool that like if it was dragon head instead of the fin spikes, like it is branched lightning.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's good.
And like,
like
filling it.
Yeah. I also imagine like Daenerys Targaryen in like the last episode with the wings.
Yes.
Drogon's wings
I
behind
was
her.
thinking of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an elf silhouette.
And it's
with
you, and
dragon
you're like, this
wings.
is my own sigil.
Yeah.
We've also never, now that I'm looking at this DM screen in front of us all the time, we've never really talked about how fucking ripped these dragon.
No, they're so ripped.
And they're kind
Yeah.
of right next to me too.
It kind of like imagine
And you know
like
how I feel
too
about
beefy.
like a 0% body fat ripped. I'm like
Yeah.
not into it. So,
imagine like a
They're
beefy-
dehydrated.
yeah,
yeah.
I don't like it.
It's kind of like very humanoid man, beefy chest.
It's like bodybuilder, like contoured muscle.
Yeah, and they still have wings.
No, they're like unsettling for sure. And then it's kind of like Ken doll. Do you know what I mean? But like they
Yeah.
have very human
At
anatomy.
least they didn't give him a penis.
So it's like, where's the penis? I don't know.
That would be
It's almost
insane.
weirder that there is no penis.
no, honestly, they
But it's kind of reptilian.
maybe it's kind of like cloaca style.
It's kind of like the Shape of Water, where it's like it comes out
Yeah,
and then it goes back in.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Sort of a reptilian like feature.
Anyway,
creature feature.
Hope that helps you imagine what our DM screen looks like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know that's what you're wondering.
A pluses and flunks. My A plus was
A
Zip
plus
Zap
to the beans. What was your?
Zip Zap Zop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A plus to y'all's role playing and fun within the office.
Flunk to the Trient isn't on our side, and we can't have him go hang out in the garden and pretend like he is part of the Hyperia display, because I think that's such a that could have been such a hilarious subplot.
Yeah.
Flunk to not finding out anything juicy from Timonus's office, but also A plus that we still fuck shit up.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating to roll poorly on perception, because it's those are the things that he's been Jared has been building. You know, it's it's who cares if I roll bad on trying to hit somebody?
Yeah.
It's I want to know what I don't, because now I know that I don't know something. You know, it's so frustrating.
But I don't know. I think it's fun to know you don't know something, because it's it can be used against you. So it's I think that's fun in a way of if we found out everything perfectly during this trip, now where would the fun be in that?
Sure.
Oh, my other flunk. This is a serious flunk. This is I feel
Mine was very serious.
That's true. I feel very regretful about this because it's something that I can control. Is I reached out for Margie's hand. Jared had me roll persuasion. I got a 2. But since I have silver tongue, it's I round up to a 10 and then I add 9, which is my modifier.
Yeah.
So I can't roll lower than 19 on persuasion because of the silver tongue feat. But one, this is not a tongue situation. I didn't say anything to her to persuade her. Ayo. But second, I think that even if I had some sort of ability like that, I would never use it on Margie. So I think that moment should have been but even then it's okay, so I still would have rolled an 11, which I don't think would have cut it because it's such a tense moment. But it's I think that instead of having a 19 on that, I should have gotten an 11. Even though I don't know, it's okay, I do have +9 to persuasion. So it's I'm never going to roll that low on it. But I just felt this isn't a moment where I deserve to have the silver tongue feat. But this is if I rolled that low, a 2, it should have been an 11. And I should not, Margie should not have done something that she didn't want to do.
Do you think it's something that you could actively turn on and off though? As part of your character?
Silver tongue?
Or do you think it's
This is more just for the sake of this is a podcast and we're telling a story.
Yeah.
And I feel in that moment, I didn't have any ability that I could have used to persuade her. I rolled low.
Yeah.
And so the dice are telling me that I have not reassured her or I have not convinced her to reach out and take my hand.
Yeah.
And I think that I should have I don't know, held true to that result instead of
I mean, that's an interesting take, I think. But it's also but your ability, it's your ability is what reassures her.
I guess so.
Anything, her faith in you and your confidence and ability reassures her.
Yeah, and the goal was to persuade her that things are going to be okay, and that I'm glad she's here. So it's if that's what I succeeded at, then good. But yeah, anyway, just something I'm thinking about. Also, I didn't think about all of that in the moment. It's just I'm marinating. The end.
Yeah.
Flunk. I guess the real flunk is that I think it would have been messier. It would have been come on, the Yuri could have been more toxic this episode.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what
you
I'm
guys
saying.
love a slow burn, but you've got to have you've got to have glimpses of hope within the slow burn.
That's true. There was a glimpse of hope there for sure.
And in a scary moment, the two of you reaching for each other is very sweet.
Oh my God, I can't even. I literally. Oh my God. If you guys think, I have
And now Sarah can
brain
convince
rot.
herself later that she just held my hand because she was scared or something.
Yes, exactly. You don't even know the levels of brain rot I have about Sawyer and Margie. If you're listening to this thinking, oh my God, I have brain rot. Okay. You don't even know. You don't even know. But actually, some people really do. I see the fan art and I see y'all's theories and stuff, and then I think to myself, they fucking get it.
They do.
They really know.
I think A+ to just not. I feel a little bad about it, but I knew you guys were fine up in the pool, so A+ to just getting what I wanted to do done.
Don't feel bad.
Funny image.
Yeah, and just
I was like, what?
I know, and S is just
Getting
shuffling
electrocuted.
papers back and forth and looking through file cabinets. It's so funny.
I was so proud of you because I was we're gonna be you'll know when it gets bad. Do what you want. We don't always have to be I have to immediately help you no matter what.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
let us suffer a little bit with
As
our
soon
own
as I knew you guys were
decisions.
fine, I was like, whatever.
Directing wise,
Good.
there is a version of this scene that is told mainly from Esta's perspective, where she we're like no music,
For like 20 seconds.
yeah.
Like,
We're
all in
like
the background.
like no music. Esta's walking around. She knows not to touch things. And then all of a sudden like background, whoop,
Yeah.
like someone gets shot up,
Yeah.
and then like Beans like starts looking up, and he's like, You hear like pounding on fucking ice. Beans Beans gets shot up.
You like see him jump into it.
Yeah.
I think this is like a 1 point scene.
Yes.
It's like from behind the desk, you can see Asta like looking for things, and then,
It's a
You
wide
see-
shot.
it's a
you
wide
hear,
shot.
like-
It doesn't move. For
It doesn't
the whole
move.
Scene.
It's a like Guardians of the Galaxy-esque. Like
Yeah.
you see like pulls out something, throws, you hear like a magical and then explosion, and then you're like
Yeah, there's like
snaps.
water.
Like I would say like Beans gets swallowed in this situation, and then like opens its mouth, throws another thing explodes,
Yeah.
giant tree and also it's like kind of quiet because it's underwater,
the ice
so it's like
You can just hear like a splash every once in a while, like a
I do think I love the wide shot. If there was an alternate shot or like a, you know what I mean, like a second point of view,
Yeah.
it would be like the point of view of the papers on the desk looking up. So it's like Esta looking over the desk, and then you can see like haloed behind
Yeah.
her. Like it's like the shot is going at a very sharp angle upwards.
Yeah.
So you see Esta leaning like, you know, over
Yes.
the desk, and then behind her, like up through the ice, you can see like like Sawyer turning like, you know, like the blackout
Getting
light with
shocked.
the white
Yeah.
skeleton, like
so good.
electrocuted, and then like Margie like diving in and stabbing the eel, and it's all like
But then
above
it, like-
Esta's head.
But then, like, via mood shift, whenever like you hear like the screaming behind the door,
Yeah.
and then it's like that's dark, and then everyone finally gets out and it's like,
and then I
we should get out.
I think it's also like, and then like a tree ent explodes in the middle, and it's like,
Yeah,
ugh.
Yeah.
I would say my flunk is gonna be. I think I wanted a little bit more of like a solid ending. We kind of ended it like a little.
Well, we all rolled
Loose.
so low on perception.
You rolled low,
It
but
would have
like
been great if you
I
had
should
been
have
like,
had
and then you
something.
see Apple.
We were beefing it the whole time, so
Yeah,
it's not
name
really
a
on
time.
you.
Name a time we didn't beef it this episode. I
I don't
grappled
have
a
one.
tree ant. That was kind of a win for Sawyer.
My best dice fucked me, and I'm a big believer that I don't give up on my dice the minute they roll bad. I'm like, okay, you know, I give them like 10 rolls. This one really fucked me, and the one I switched to only rolled me 5s, and I said,
That's why you don't switch out.
no, I do switch out eventually, but I gave them a chance. I gave two of them a chance, and they just really beefed it, so I had to go with my third option.
I think they're like, I get what you're saying. It could have been more of a cliffhanger, but also at this point, like, who's not listening to the next episode?
I think it
You
is
know
like
what I mean? It's like, okay.
it's not a cliffhanger, but it is like a shit is going down actively, and
Yeah.
like we're gonna have to face all of it this next time.
The image of Smear or whatever his name is.
Schmear.
Schmear.
is
Schmear.
crazy.
Schmear and curd.
But we can
Where
totally
do those
get
names
past
come
it.
from?
I was just
Because
thinking.
it reminds me of like a
Dairy.
sugar.
A
Yeah.
cheese
dairy.
curd.
Well, I almost called them.
Schmeared cream cheese.
curd, yeah, and cream
curd.
I almost called them whey, but then I was like, that's kind of fucking lame.
Curds and
I'll call them
whey.
Schmear and curd.
Whey is lame and schmear is cool.
Well, curds
Schmear
and
is at
whey is
least
like
silly.
Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet. I knew exactly where your mind was.
Yeah.
Huh?
Like if you had been like when he first introduced those characters, if you'd been like, what is Jared's thought process? I would have said, well, he was going to do curds and whey, and then he thought that was weird, so then he went to the next thing next to whey, which is schmear.
Schmear.
Yeah.
Schmear.
I'm not lying. I wish we could go back in time and I could.
I think I looked up
believe
like.
you. That's just crazy.
But anyway, you know
Yeah.
how I feel about time travel. The other day, Colt was like, "Do you know the guy who like plays Phil Dunphy is like the voice of Mr. Peabody?" And I was like, "I fucking hate Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
Oh my God.
I have like a visceral
I'm guessing
hatred.
they time travel.
Oh, don't get me started.
That's all they do.
Well, let's not get her started.
Anyway,
We won't. We're not. I am making sure to stay away from time travel. We can have time dilation.
yes,
That's fun.
exactly. Jared,
What are
gets
you
it.
laughing at, Campbell?
Yeah, I was laughing at dilation.
No, she looked up Peabody and
Mr.
Sherman.
Peabody and Sherman. And
It's a little
One
dog
of-
and a little boy.
I hate their
one
guts.
of the like top things is a YouTube video, and the thumbnail it's like the two characters, but then it says PP in like in the font in the branding font. It's so stupid.
Pee-pee and shishi.
PP and sure.
Okay, get your tickets to the live show.
Oh, live shows.
It's happened.
over now.
Girl,
So if you weren't there,
sorry.
you missed out. It was
missed out.
it was amazing. It was a great time. Everybody loved it.
Yeah, it went off without a hitch. No technical issues.
sold out.
We're
Sold
recording
out.
this a month and 2 weeks before we've done it. So just
Yeah.
take our word for
And
it.
is there any way to watch it? No.
well,
It was one night only. Well, now at this, because we're kind of okay. So we've been sort of lying and saying like it's one night only. You'll never see it again. But like actually, we might be lying, and there might be a way for you to see it again.
we might be recording it, but we don't know.
We were saying that to sell tickets.
No, we don't know.
Don't tell them that.
We don't know if we're getting it recorded yet.
All right. Join our Patreon. I think we already plugged the Patreon. Get on our socials. Follow us there. Get in the Discord. It's a party, as you can see from
Talk about our crazy
crow-
theories.
the crow and the owl rivalry.
I
that's
think you guys
going
should
on.
all yell at Lilly, Campbell, and Jared in the comments
No.
in the Discord.
No, don't do that.
I think you guys should all tell them that they were
Don't do
wrong
that.
to laugh at me about ravens and owls being enemies.
Don't do that.
If you yell at me, I'll cry.
I
Just
yelled
say
at so
Guardians
much.
of Gahul.
You can, and also if you read
Comment
Guardian-
what bird you would be if you were a bird.
yeah. Also, if you read Guardians of Gahul, let me know.
Yeah. What else do we
Olivia is forming a group.
I'm forming a Splinter Guardians of Gahul group.
oh my gosh.
And if
Guardians and Gahuls. Sorry, that was
Shut
pretty bad.
Gals and Gahuls.
no way. I'm sick of this. If you have not left us a 5-star review and you're listening to this study break, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you think that we're a 5-star podcast. So please,
we're begging
scroll
you.
up and then click the 5-star button on Spotify.
For just one 5-star.
If you're on Apple Podcast, you could give us 5 stars there too, and you could type something. But if you don't want to type something, you could just like say the name of your favorite character and then also post 5 stars.
For just one 5-star review a day,
You could feed a gal.
We can feed Lily one pretzel, which is really what she eats when she comes to my home.
I come to Livy's house
We
every
can-
day and eat one pretzel.
For one 5-star review, we can feed Lily a pretzel and 10 mini chocolate chips.
Yes! And if we get to 500 5-star reviews, then Olivia said she's going to make me ho-ho salad.
Did I say that?
I think you are banned from Ho-Ho Salad for the next 6 months.
For how-
Olivia said.
For how you act after ho-ho salad, you're
Yeah.
banned.
I love ho-ho salad.
Well, then you should have thought about that before what you did.
What did I do?
You threw 2 beans.
I'm about to throw 3.
Well, the third,
I pick beans up and I throw them.
Oh.
I could beat your strength score any
that
day.
would be hilarious.
Let's roll off right now.
No.
Coward.
Wait, strength score? I'm probably fine. You want to roll off? Let's roll off. This will be the last roll of the episode.
Okay, roll a strength save.
First and last of this episode.
No, you roll a. No.
I want in too.
Oh, okay.
Lily is hiding her roll. So is Olivia. And all 3 of them now.
Is it a saving throw?
Yeah.
Okay.
19.
15.
8.
Thank you so much for listening to the House of Goblins. We will see you next week.
And bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you.